We have to hurry. Come on! I will sing you the song of my people. Boom, boom, aka-laka-laka boom. Boom, boom, aka-laka boom, boom. Boom, boom, aka-laka-laka boom. Boom, boom, aka-laka boom, boom. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. It wasn't now that this 40 million years ago, a little cigarette picked up a monkey start to go. The sun was spitting fire. The sky was blue as ice. I felt a little tired, so I watched my advice. I walked the dinosaur. Roar! Roar!
Wow.
Brothers, breathe deep and seek peace.
Fly high, gentlemen.
Roar.
They do move in herds.
Vern is portraying one of the non-verbal dinosaurs of Dinotopia, whereas Justin and I can talk for some reason.
Right, that in a way that is not explained, as is much of the film.
And also, it's also very, speaking of how we're all communicating, it's very important to know that I am very clearly ADR'd in after the fact.
Yes.
You are ADR'd in after the fact. I am delivering all of my lines in a sort of cool monotone, no matter how angry I'm supposed to be.
See, I'm speaking through a very expensive Henson puppet that they can only afford to use in 3 shots.
We've all gathered our little Allosaurus puppets, and we have been assigned our familiars, and we, in this monthly installment of Movies for Babies, are just violating the title of this show in a mini-series for babies as we cover the 2002 Walt Disney Pictures / Hallmark Channel joint, Dinotopia.
So, guys, I feel like the fact that this is a Hallmark production is just kind of further proof that true art can never flourish under capitalism. Because remember when Hallmark would do, like, big fantasy epics? And then now do only Christmas movies?
I mean, J-Man, that's where the money's at. You know, the Hallmark Channel business model, on the back, they used to sell some fucking greeting cards, but that shit's old news. Now, you spend like $500,000 filming a Christmas movie in 2 weeks. You can run that motherfucker annually until the end of time. There is a hard and fast formula if you pull up like a list of Hallmark Channel posters of one of them is wearing red, one of them is wearing green, the man is 10 years older than the woman, and it's a hard and fast formula, baby. We live or we die by the Hallmark Channel Christmas movie formula.
I've written a Christmas movie, and I'm very proud of it. And one of the hardest things about proceeding is finding a title of a Christmas movie that has not been taken. And majority of them have been taken by Hallmark.
But only within the past 5 years.
Yes.
Right. But Vern, the secret is most Christmas movies don't have a particularly Christmas ringing title, at least like the evergreen classics. Of course, there are exceptions. You have Santa Claus with an E, and no, we will not go off on a big Santa Claus riff for the second one of these in a row.
Well, no, you've got Christmas with the Cranks.
Not a classic, I would say, of the Tim Allen Christmas movies.
Listen, I don't know about how you Gentiles celebrate Christmas, but in my Jewish household, we celebrated Christmas by watching John Grisham's Christmas with the Cranks.
I don't know how you filthy wasps ring in the new year, but we gather around. But most Christmas movies have Home Alone, Die Hard, It's a Wonderful Life. Those are not particularly Yuletide. You fall into a hole when you start calling shit like mistletoe! ! Although I don't know if that one's taken. You might want to snatch that up. TM.
My favorite one, The family I married into is a big Hallmark Christmas movie family, and my favorite one that I've not seen, not that I've seen the movie, but my favorite Hallmark Christmas movie title I've seen is, of course, Holiday in Handcuffs, implying someone gets arrested on Christmas.
I can see the poster. You don't have to describe it to me at all. I know it.
I got a visceral vision of the poster as if it was shot into my fucking neural cortex when you said the title of that movie.
Because that's not a good Christmas present. Spinning it in the hoosegow? Come on.
I hate when I have to spend Christmas in a gulag. So, Justin, I am curious. Perhaps you seem to know a little bit more about this than I do. Can you tell me some of Hallmark Channel's other big fantasy offerings? I don't know if I'm familiar.
Well, their other major their other major production was actually The Wizard of Earthsea.
Like, wait, hold up.
By Ursula K. Le Guin.
The same thing that Tales from Earthsea, the Ghibli movie, comes from?
Exactly. The exact same source material.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Like one of the best fantasy books written with explicitly non-white characters. Like, the protagonist is explicitly not white, and boy, did that get lost in translation.
When I heard Hallmark Channel production, I did have sort of the same visceral reaction that I had when I turned on Dinotopia, and it was just honkies everywhere. And we were drowning in whiteys.
Well, no, you have the one black military leader.
Yeah, you have the best character on the whole show is the leader of the Skybex writers. Best character in the whole show, essentially interchangeable with a character from the Star Wars prequels. I don't know if you two had this same...
Guys, the costumes in this movie look like a community college's staging of The Phantom Menace.
You know, this was I take that back. With the exception of Artemis Bowell, my wife has watched every single one of these with me, and the one thing that my wife really, railed on this movie against was the costuming. And she hated the overabundance of patterns. And you're right, it does have it has that kind of community theater kind of feel to it, despite it being a thing that was co-produced by Walt Disney Pictures.
If I may dunk on your wife, just real quick. One of the things I did really like about this miniseries was the costuming, but it was really one specific element of the costuming, which is that Dinotopia, which is of course a Lost Island society where human and dinosaur live side by side in peace and harmony. One of the facets of this movie is that the population of Dinotopia is derived from those who are shipwrecked or plane crashed.
Exactly. It's basically a cargo cult society.
It's a cargo cult, but what I loved about the costuming of specifically the background characters was that there was this incredible mishmash of styles and time periods.
Right.
Which paints this portrait of, you had some Italian monks crash here, and there are still, folks that carry on the Italian monk wardrobe. There were Moors. Yeah. There were... the mayor, who was, of course, but Dr. I Am Pagliacci. Yeah. You had these mismatch of time period garb that I liked as this cultural quilt of lost and vacant societies.
In defense of my wife...
How dare you defend your wife,
No,
Vern?
She's been dunked on, dude. I'm sorry. Your wife is fucking owned.
She did not come in until partway through the first of 3 episodes of Dinotopia.
So she missed all the important context.
But also...
Your wife's a fake fan, Vern. She's a fake geek. She doesn't know the Dinotopian lore. Does your wife know the 10 creeds of Dinotopia?
My wife does not, but also I watched it all, and I don't know the 10 creeds of Dinotopia.
Yeah.
But also...
Well, no, guys, I don't know. We have to be careful. Reciting the 10 creeds of the Dinotopia is how you get it into the Proud Boys now.
I will say, there was one other person who dunked on my wife, and I did send them a letter on my birthday telling them that they're an asshole in so many words. But
geez.
The thing is, like, I get what you're saying, Kevin, but like in a place where all these people can work together to build the most amazing structures you've ever seen in your life, like, they've got to have a sewing machine there.
I mean, they had a loom. Each culture kept a loom, so you could keep these styles alive. I don't know. I liked it.
Here's guys. Here's the problem. In Dinotopia, all of the clothing is made by velociraptors, and they're colorblind, so they don't understand people fashion.
So they can open a door, but they can't operate a Singer sewing machine.
But they can't match patterns.
I see.
That's right. Okay, that checks out. That makes sense. Folks, maybe it's just the fact that we are entering month 5 of U.S. quarantine. But I'm watching Dinotopia this week in 3 discrete sittings because this is a mini-series of 3 episodes. And I'm looking at this beautiful island society made up of free knowledge and hot vegetarians living side by side with dinosaurs, and I'm booking a little bush plane trip so I might land on fucking Dinotopia. I am ship me in a crate to Dinotopia.
Is the future threat liberals threaten us with.
Yes, this is the future liberals want. Free information, no meat packaging industry. Admittedly, still a corrupt government. Honestly, I think in human society that might be unavoidable. But
I'd argue not corrupt as much as just incompetent.
It's a classic, to speak again of the Star Wars prequels, which Dinotopia is a peer of. Came out, I think, the same year as Attack of the Clones.
Certainly an echo.
It is the same government bloviation that would come to doom the Grand Republic. That would come to usher in a Palpatine. I fear that after Mayor What's-His-Face is out of power, Dinotopia...
Seville,
Mayor Waldo, yes. Which
Mayor Waldo.
I don't know that they said his name until the 3rd installment of Dinotopia, and I had a...
they say it once in the first episode, and they never say it again.
Because he's just father for the 2nd episode.
I remember they do say it at one point in the 3rd because there is a lengthy Mayor Waldo riff I went on purely just to keep my sanity. It was something like we have to find Mayor Waldo, and it was something like, you'd think he would stand out because of his red and white stripes, but he likes to hang around red and white umbrellas, so... it's some sort of bit like that. It was a lot funnier in the moment, but also...
Well, no, it doesn't help that he has a red and white dinosaur that he hangs out with.
But also, at hour 4 into 4.5 hours of Dinotopia, a Geico commercial that popped in just really got me. So, I mean...
Okay. All right. And yeah, my ads were mostly State Farm, where I... got to see someone that I was in an intro to literature class with in school be Jake from State Farm, and here I was watching 3 episodes of Dinotopia in preparation for my podcast. So if that's not...
So
if anyone's demoralized, it's me.
No,
looking
you don't
at
understand,
Jake
guys.
From State
So
Farm.
I fucked up in watching this because it turns out they edited down the miniseries into a 2.5 hour movie.
Did they?
Still too long.
Yes. And I watched it on a service called FilmRise.
That doesn't sound real.
FilmRise is a free video and TV streaming service on Roku, and it it has where they basically took the DVD bin you'd get at a Menards or a local grocery store.
Menards.
The $4 DVD bin at Hy-Vee is what is start on.
Hey,
Right. So,
on
you know, they
Pornhub.
have greats
Okay.
like Blood Monkey and
I
The Greatest American Hero.
will
Okay.
say in a factoid that is real and also mind blowing. Before we upgraded and got the Criterion of this movie, the copy of Bottle Rocket I had was obtained at Menards.
No, no real shade at Menards. Menards is a genuinely good store.
You can save big money there.
Everything big is at Menards.
It is common knowledge that you can save a lot of money at Menards. Okay, so
Yeah.
I am not here to mock grocery store DVD bins. I would say a huge chunk of my home video collection was built on grocery store DVD bins.
I found my copy of Bad Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans was found at a grocery store, or not at a grocery store, at a gas station. So you can find diamonds in the rough out there.
My copies of Broadcast News and The Philadelphia Story, two of the greatest romantic comedies of all time, were indeed obtained in a $4 DVD bin at a Hy-Vee. So I will hear no ill will. You will hear me not say one disparaging word against those DVD sets.
My history
No.
instructor found a copy of La Dolce Vita at a Walmart, so that's a real story.
I was at a Quick Trip in Tempe and I found a copy of Il Vitelloni. I was just, oh my god.
Hey, did you guys know you could get bicycle thieves at Target?
Well, we've had a lot of fun here today. But let's
Yes. Anyway, so I had to rewatch the. So after watching the movie, I had to watch the entire
Oh,
miniseries
God.
in the 24 hours up to this recording.
Oh my god. So you
But
both
I did find it on an actual licensed YouTube channel.
Okay, because I watched it Amazon Prime through a service called IMDb TV.
yeah.
It indeed was streaming all 3 episodes of Dinotopia free with ads in a perfectly legal form. So that is how I watched it. So you both watched all of Dinotopia yesterday.
So here's the thing, though. I knew it was a mini-series. First off, prior to meeting you, not even prior to meeting you two, prior to a month ago, I'd never heard of Dinotopia. But I
Which
knew
is
it was
just sad.
but I knew from talking to you guys that it was a mini-series. But somewhere in that discussion, the phrase, like, the number 1 hour and 30 minutes got thrown together. And my brain internalized it as, it is a mini-series. There are 3 episodes that are 30 minutes. Altogether is an hour and 30 minutes. And I thought, well, I will treat it like a movie and watch it as a movie in one go. And let me tell you...
So here's the thing. The structure and pacing of Dinotopia is very interesting because there really isn't any.
It's like... it's,
as individual episodes.
It's like Twin
There are
Peaks: The
arcs, but not
Return if
really,
it was
like,
terrible.
Pacing or tension.
How
so it really,
dare you,
it really does work
how
best
dare you?
when watched in one go, as one complete. It truly, like Twin Peaks: The Return,
But terrible.
Dinotopia is a 4.5 hour film broken into 3.5-hour segments.
I loved the scene in Dinotopia where Nine Inch Nails performed at a tavern. I loved the episode of Dinotopia that opened with a nuclear bomb exploding.
But Kevin, that is there to explain how evil entered the universe. Come on.
Come
Listen,
on.
I'm just glad there's a Struthia Mimus to say, "Hey, Justin, how are you today?"
You know, like, I was talking about this with a coworker. If, and mine are Twin Peaks: The Return spoilers, but there's a moment in The Return where Cooper says, "I am the FBI," and I think if heaven exists, it's experiencing that for the first time for all eternity, because that's such a wonderful moment. But yeah, there's no
Agent Dale Cooper's Judge Dredd moment.
Yes. The lack of structure works for Twin Peaks: The Return because 25 years after Laura Palmer is dead, that entire town has been so shaken that it is a completely different... It takes on a completely different texture than it did when Laura was still alive. It does not work in anything else, especially a 4.5 hour long thing, for there not to be a structure.
You devils, you fiends, you don't understand.
My heart sank when I learned this was 4.5 hours.
You knew it was 3 1.5 hour episodes. The both of you could have spaced that out over the course of a week.
My brain sucks. I have a terrible time with numbers. I heard 1.5 hour, and I thought 3 episodes, they're each 30 minutes. Because
you cannot contain the mighty, the huge, sprawling epic of Dinotopia to 3 half-hour episodes.
In all fairness, as the one who initiated this reptilian madness, let me say, I thought it was just a movie. I grew up on just the movie.
See, but I grew up... so this aired, I think, over a course of 3 weeks on ABC at least once, if not twice, like approximately in 2002. I don't know where it first aired, but I didn't have cable, so I definitely saw it on ABC.
So here's my question. Was it 3 weeks or was it 3 nights? Because every episode is called Night 1, Night 2, and Night 3.
That is an excellent question. That might very well be the case, that it played, say, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Earnestly, 2002 was just a little too long ago for me to be able to recall the exact method that Dinotopia entered my eyes as a 10-year-old lad, now almost being a 30-year-old lad. But it was definitely played in some structure like that. I think you're right. It was like a television event.
ABC used to do that a whole bunch. The Beatles anthology aired on ABC that same way. I think the Thornbirds did it the same way. Roots. Miniseries used to be a big summertime thing, and they have gone the way of the dodo.
Well, like, folks, if you want a great account of how much Disney did not know how to run a TV station, really check out the book Disney Worlds, because it goes into it in an almost embarrassing level of detail. Like, they never knew what they were... Like, Mike Eisner never knew what he wanted out of a TV station. But that TV production is where he got his start. So he just knew he wanted to run a TV station.
I weirdly have something to contribute to this. Now, I think it still exists. There's a channel called ABC Family.
It has pivoted. It is now called Freeform.
Freeform, okay.
That I know what that is. I can recognize what service that provides.
Freeform, why, that is the station that brought me such classics as Cloak and Dagger, Secret Life of an American Teenager. I go on, but I shan't name all the other ABC Family titles I know.
So that network used to be owned by Saban, who does the Power Rangers. And then it got bought out by Fox. And when it was bought out by Fox, it was called Fox Family. And Fox Family did pretty okay as far as, like, cable networks go. And because it did pretty okay, Mike Eisner saw it, and he's like, all right, I want it. And he bought it from Fox Family.
His eyes rolled over and revealed dollar signs.
Yes.
I mean, well, in all fairness, that's become the Disney ethos.
This is
now.
true. And later
let's
on,
not fucking lie to ourselves. It was always the Disney ethos. It's been the Disney ethos since Walt himself wanted to build an underground city without cars.
How many? No, actually, wait, shit. How many Disney movies, like Disney productions, are original stories?
It ain't a lot, my man. It ain't. I mean, okay.
I can't think of.
If we are going
Bolt?
to...
Is Bolt it?
Meet the Robinsons? Is that a book? The problem is
Meet
some
the
of these are
Robinsons is a
fucking...
book.
Much like Dinotopia, so many of these are based off books that I've never fucking heard of in my entire life.
Well, yeah, that's how DreamWorks gets away with it. Most of their stuff is adaptations, but of just such obscure source material, no one can check them on it.
Yes.
Right, your Shreks, etc.
But just
your Over the Hedge, your Rise of the Guardians.
But just to finish what I was saying,
No!
Mike Eisner saw Fox Family, and later on this would get mirrored when Disney would just buy Fox. But Mike Eisner bought Fox Family, and the original plan for Fox Family, for the Disney-owned Fox Family, was it was going to be the hip alternative to ABC, and it was going to be called the XYZ. But Mike Eisner purchased...
Yeah!
I miss that kind of just comically sincere, thinks it's clever but isn't kind of branding.
But here's the thing.
And that TV station was struck by lightning and became Kyle XY.
Yes. But here's the
Sorry.
thing. Mike Eisner and the lawyers for Disney did not read over the contract, and the contract stated that for X amount of years, this channel had to be geared towards families, so much so that it had to have family in the name. And they did not overlook that. Or they overlooked that. And so that's why for so many years it was ABC Family, which is why it was Fox Family before that. Saban stipulated that family had to be in the title. So they bought this channel based on, we're going to turn it into the XYZ. And then whenever they got it, they realized, oops, we should have looked over the fine print. ABC
Michael
Family
Eisner.
it is.
What is the point of executives? What is the actual point of them if their job is to be right 1 times out of 5?
Just picturing Michael Eisner, the smiling face that used to introduce me to Saturday nights of the wonderful world of Disney, just looking at a stack of scripts on his desk called Wieners and Butts, and just dumping them in a shredding machine, just pushing them sideways. Oh, Eisner.
No, but you know what's really fucking bleak is that when he was getting ousted so Bob Iger could take over, Mike Eisner worried that Bob Iger lacked the creative instinct he thought he had.
Well, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and now Bob Iger has said the same thing about his successor.
Right. I mean, that's what they all say, because every businessman thinks they are the most important businessman, and without them, their business would surely crumble. And then they have to accept that, oh, Jeffrey Katzenberg, you left, and Disney did, let's see, fine if not better than they ever did under you, and now you're Mr. Quibi? Now you're the Quibi king?
In all fairness, DreamWorks did make She-Ra, which is better than most shows Disney has produced in a while.
I mean,
hey, DreamWorks. I got nothing against DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, when they came out the gate, they had some undisputable hits. I mean, they were working with Spielberg. Also, speaking of a weird loop that just occurred, and talking about Bob Iger thinking he's creative and all this. Bob Iger was the one who pushed for the reveal of who killed Laura Palmer in the original run of Twin Peaks. And he has...
Wow. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And he, in his autobiography, admitted that was a mistake.
I mean, who could have foreseen that revealing the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer in the middle of season 2?
Not even the middle. 1/3 of the way through.
Jesus. That would be if I were the brand executive at ABC, let's call me something stupid like Bob Iger, and Lost were the biggest television show on the air and was raking in tens of millions of viewers every single week, and I said, we're 3 episodes into season 2. What if they get off this island? Enough of this island business. Now it's about
What if they solved the mystery of the island and then spend 5 episodes just being on the island and liking being on the island?
Well, we solved all the problems of this island. I guess We're gonna get a suntan, and in this episode, Kate and Juliet get suntans.
Oh.
Yeah, none of that drama, none of that mystery business. People hate mysteries. They hate them. Detective novels are garbage. Let's make our show about nothing.
What if Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld did pitch a show that was about nothing, and it was just Lost?
Okay. All right. I can think of no better time than 30 minutes into an episode about Dinotopia where we have
Let's
discussed
get
the
off the
plot
island
of
of Lost
Dinotopia.
and get onto the island of Dinotopia.
One
and
second,
guys,
please. Just
how do
one
we get to the island?
Just 1 second, please. Just 1 second. I just need to say one thing. Just 1 second.
Do you remember yesterday when you guys said there's no way this would go 4.5 hours?
I will outlaw it. I cannot sanction this buffoonery. So, just if I may, just like one quick thing about Seinfeld. Everyone calls Seinfeld the show about nothing, and that is the stupidest, dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Seinfeld is a show about a stand-up comic and his friends living in New York. It's not a show about nothing. It's got a premise. I don't know what you are all talking. It's a 4 New York friends living and dating in the big city. What more premise is that? I'm sorry.
It's literally the premise of Friends.
Yes, it's a premise of 400 different shows, but because the show within a show of Seinfeld was pitched as the show about nothing, people attribute that to the show about Seinfeld, which is fucking about something.
I just wish the title would have did a better job of explaining that this show was the Chronicles of Seinfeld. If they could have just had a title like The Seinfeld Chronicles or something, I think the show would have worked a little bit better for me.
The Seinfeld years.
I wish.
I'm glad Kevin got that joke.
Yeah, I got that joke. I wish the title of Seinfeld is too specific. I wish they had called it "What's the Deal?"
Here's the thing. I wish instead of a comedian, I wish the character of Seinfeld was a referee, but for marriages. I wish the show would have been... Call it the marriage ref, you know?
Seinfeld had too much plot. I wish it was just a show about Jerry Seinfeld driving around with different comedians.
What?
Getting coffee. That's a show right there. Enough of this plot. No Kramer.
No,
No
writing. It's real.
It's real. It's comedians talking shop. I want to call it Seinfeld in car. Vroom, vroom, beep, beep. I think that's the title we're going to go with.
It's called I Have Nothing Better to Do.
What's the deal with girlfriends? They're always in high school talking about math class. So, I wish that Seinfeld had in fact taken its 4 protagonists and dumped them on some remote island paradise. Let's call it Dinotopia.
We're talking about Dinotopia?
Yeah,
Here we go.
Okay, legitimately though, that's a really good
I opened a
premise.
beer. That was the
Yeah,
joke.
if we had gotten to Seinfeld season 10, I think they would have finally sent them to Dinotopia. It happens to every show sooner or later. You know, when you're you're watching the misadventures of the Cheers gang, and they take an island vacation to Dinotopia.
Do you guys remember? And we'll get to Dinotopia. But
yeah,
do you guys remember whenever the entire block of shows that were on NBC that same night as Seinfeld, they had this mandate, every episode would take place during a thunderstorm and a blackout. And Seinfeld was like, oh no, we're not doing that. And so 2 shows took place into a blackout. Seinfeld was just a regular episode, and then the 4th show took place in a blackout.
I legit would watch a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about the production of that.
Of them turning down that order. And that's something that NBC would really stick with. For a while, they had a Green Week initiative, and you could see it, like, talked about directly on 30 Rock. Yeah. But for, like, an entire week of NBC programming, every episode would have to do something with, like, environmental consciousness coming from a company owned by General Electric. And that would happen, or how every year, like, all the ABC sitcoms go to Disneyland or Disney World. They always find an excuse. What if they went to Dinotopia? What if, like, the Modern Family gang had to have their annual episode at Dinotopia?
What if 30 Rock had to shoot a Dinotopia special?
Hey, dinosaur! You're looking at me funny.
Lemon, we can make trade deals with Dinotopia. Lemon.
And then Sheldon is in the library with Zippo, and they're both competing over how much dinosaur knowledge they each know. And
they're both just quietly reading.
Young Sheldon and the gang. Young Sheldon becomes the mayor of Dinotopia is an arc that I would
mayor of Dinotopia.
This challenge is for... All right, tribes, this challenge is for immunity. Survive the flying pterodactyls. The tribe that's the last one standing wins immunity. Worth playing for? I would watch Survivor Dinotopia.
If noted conservative thought leader Joe Rogan revived Fear Factor and they went to Dinotopia
a second time.
Like, all right, the first challenge, you're going to have to eat this dinosaur shit.
I would absolutely watch Joe Rogan interview a Brachiosaurus and ask if it's done DMT.
Hey, have you done DMT?
Absolutely watch that.
Zippo cutting a fat rip off a joint live on the show.
Zippo just says some dumb shit that gets the ancient library shut down.
And then on The Amazing Race, the final three are like Judd and Cord, the two cowboys, Boston Rob and Amber, and then like Zippo and 26. And just
on the Amazing Race, like, red team has to, like, you have to find a marker in the world beneath. You have to figure out a puzzle in the world beneath. Guys, this is a good show.
Oh, and wait, I was talking about Survivor earlier. I was talking about Survivor earlier, but in the tribal council, he holds up the piece of paper, and it's like 4 footprints.
Well, in the footprint language, Rob, you're going home.
In Sourish.
In Sourish. Yeah,
The immunity idol is a sunstone.
Fucking, they're doing the NCAA championship live from fucking Dinotopia, and Don Imus gets in trouble for calling them scalies.
Oh, God.
Oh, nobody knows what the fuck we're talking about. Nobody fucking has watched Dinotopia in 100 years.
In 65 million years, no one has watched Dinotopia.
There were 3 viewers of Dinotopia in the past decade, and they were us for this show. Well, there were 5, and it was Justin twice.
In the last week, the ratings for Dinotopia tripled.
They tripled, and fucking the Disney execs were like, there's a dot matrix printout coming out, and they're like, you gotta say this, we gotta revive Dinotopia, interest has peaked 300% rise in viewership.
Guys, it's time for a show revival.
It's this dot matrix printout, and it's like the footprints but in ASCII text, and it's just, oh my god, we got viewers.
Oh, we got one! And they raise it up. Oh, fuck me, dude. Okay, so the plot of Dinotopia is...
Okay, let's actually... Although, here's the thing. The beauty of Dinotopia is that it opens with an old woman explaining nothing.
Okay.
And then 2 kids and their dads flying a plane like you do.
Justin, you just hold on one fucking goddamn second. You skipped over the best scene in the entire show, where this old-ass Titanic lady is, like, writing a letter in footprint speak, and she's we're getting the voiceover of what she's writing, and it's my favorite subgenre of show where it is otherwise entirely normally spoken, but then like 2 minutes into a scene, someone says the word Dinotopia. She's like, "My precious daughter, I am leaving you now. Dinotopia will one day be in your hands." It's like, whoa. I'm sorry, we can continue.
This is what we in the industry call a hook. It's what we call in media res, in which you start without really explaining anything to the audience to let mystery develop.
You might think you're accidentally watching like a reproduction of like Sense and Sensibility, and then this lady says Dinotopia, and we're off to the races.
That's how they get you. It's
Which episode of Masterpiece Theater is this?
Oh, are they rerunning like Macbeth? Oh no, Dinotopia.
It's one of those things where you're hooked in this like old thematic like whatever, and then Wishbone comes bounding out of the closet, and you're like, oh, they got me. Yeah, that's what this is.
What's your story, Wishbone?
I guess we're gonna start this. Dinotopia, more like Dino. Nope. Yeah. So after the elderly woman writing the letter to her daughter or granddaughter, we have 2 sons and 1 dad set out on a plane. There's two
brothers,
there's two
David
brothers.
Scott and Carl Scott. They're indeed brothers from another mother. Same father, brothers from another mother. David Scott, played by TV's Wentworth Miller, who you might know from Prison Break and The Flash.
Princeton's own.
A fucking working actor. He books Wentworth Miller. He books.
My wife, that was the first thing she said when she walked in, was like, "Hey, it's Prison Break."
It's Michael Schofield from TV's Prison Break.
The thing for me, and Justin, you may not recall this. Kevin, you might. This dude looks just like my friend Adam, one of the producers of Pet Turtles. So seeing
Wentworth Miller, handsome man. You know,
Absolutely.
Wentworth Miller's a good-looking cat. You can watch a great speech he gave about like coming out. Like, it's really touching. He's a good actor. He was the best actor on The Flash as the recurring villain, Captain Cold. He was great.
But yeah, he looks just remarkably like my friend Adam. And Adam's like the movie that made Adam fall in love with movies was Jurassic Park. So seeing this guy that looks exactly like my friend Adam playing with dinosaurs in a movie, just like that's my favorite part of Dinotopia. It just reminded me of my friend.
Out.
Yeah.
There is Wentworth Miller is, of course, a featured actor on an excellent episode of Buffy where the swim team is turning into fish monsters, and the episode ends with the Wentworth Miller fish monster being released into the sea to finally be free.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was a happy ending for the Wentworth Miller fish monster, not for all the other fish monsters that Buffy was forced to defeat. She was in a no-win situation.
It happens. But speaking, it's just a thing that Wentworth Miller does. He ends up in the sea. He, his brother, and his dad. The plane crashes, and both the sons escape the plane, but the dad, excellent pilot, cannot work a what is it called? Oh my god.
Seatbelt?
Seatbelt. He cannot work a seatbelt to save his life. Literally.
Well, no. Here's the thing. He's used to driving planes without seatbelts. So when they brought in these, bureaucratic laws that required seatbelts in the planes, he doesn't know how to operate.
Fucking Ralph Nader, man. Every single time.
Right?
So the plane crashes because it's a children's movie and it's one that Disney made. They always say, like, the dad is lost. Despite the
He's
fact
not
that, like,
dead.
he's not dead. Despite the fact that we
It's
saw
a-
a plane go into the ocean, he's lost, and, you know, like...
It was a plane crash in the middle of the sea, so of course all 3 people in it survived.
And for the record, we don't know. We have no context as to who these people are,
No.
why they're flying a plane, or where they're doing it.
It's a father and his 2 estranged teenage sons who are of
No,
course...
they are like post-college kids.
No,
They're either
Justin.
in or graduate.
Justin, no. I thought that too. And I thought also that Marion, the woman that they both become infatuated with, I said, surely these people must be 24, 25. And then you look up the plot synopsis of Dinotopia and it says teenage sons.
Oh my.
These old ass men.
These craggy people.
Oh my.
These are the raggediest teenagers I've
These
ever
are the most
seen.
weathered teens in Los Angeles.
These are some fucking beat up teens.
Wow.
But apparently they are all supposed to be teenagers, and that was the biggest shock of the entire show.
I learned something. Wow. Yeah, I thought they were like our age. I thought they were just like in their late 20s, early 30s.
That is obviously what age those actors are. I
Yes.
guess it does explain why Carl Scott, who's kind of like the bad boy, he's been kicked out of 11 schools. It does explain why he's dressed like the kid brother from Lizzie McGuire. Like, I guess it does. It checks out, I guess, but...
What? Are you not a fan of LL Bean vests worn every hour of the day?
And cargo shorts and but yeah, so like this plane crashes in the middle of the sea. Dad is lost, but the 2 sons wash up on the shores of an island that is Dinotopia. They don't know it right away. They meet Krabs. Is that his name?
His
Crab
name is Cyrus
singular.
Crab.
Cyrus Crab, who is
Cyrus
played
Crab.
by David Thewlis, and he walks out of a crypt essentially carrying a sign that says, "Bad guy, do not trust."
He walks out of a exploding crypt. He blows
walks out
up
of
a
an
crypt.
Exploding dinosaur cave. Like, the cave is shaped like a dinosaur face.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's Dinotopia, Justin.
And he
so-
completely blows it up.
He's got all the signs. He has a limp. He's balding, but still has a mullet. He is played by David Thewlis. And again, there might as well be a neon sign that says "bad guy" over his head.
Yes.
In all honesty, has David Thewlis ever played a wholly and sincerely good person?
Would you count Remus Lupin from the
No,
Harry Potter franchise? Because he is a werewolf.
If he's not careful, he becomes an animal that eats children.
He becomes a werewolf. He becomes a werewolf.
This is probably a moot point, but like, I mean, he's a voice. He's a voice of the lead in Anomalisa, but you know that's.
Who I would argue, not a great guy.
No, he cheats on his wife 30 minutes into the movie, so.
Yeah, he cheats on his wife and cannot see people as other than the same interchangeable face and voice,
Yes.
repeated ad nauseum. Not a great guy. He is, on Fargo season 3, he plays the essence of corruption. So he's let's see. He's Hades Ares in Wonder Woman.
in Wonder Woman.
Again, not a great guy. He's the lead character in Mike Leigh's Naked. Things outlook not so good for David Thewlis playing a
guess-
Guys,
Guys,
can
gentleman.
we get the hashtag justice for Thewlis going?
Yeah, it is a hashtag that cannot trend because no one can spell this motherfucker's last name. THW? No, thank you, David. You go in the bad guy pile. Good guys have names like Tom Cruise. They don't have names like David Thewlis.
Tom Hanks.
Firm American names.
Not Odom Shank, Tom Hanks. But yeah, he comes out of the cave, and it's like just as they said, like, typical bad guy thing. I will say, like, there's a handful of times in this movie where or in this series, where I could not tell if the filmmaking was trying to dupe you into thinking he was good, or the filmmaking was just bad. I couldn't tell. There's one spot in particular that I'm thinking of. But he leads them into a village, and immediately, like, as soon as they get to this village, like, all these villagers start running away, screaming, and a PlayStation 2 dinosaur walks into the village, and everyone's...
A guy, they just dump the entire Animal Cry sound library they have.
Yes.
They just give every animal to this one dinosaur.
This is stock sound effect the movie. There is so many, like... There's puffin sound effects in this movie.
There is definitely, like, a moment in Dinotopia where they just play, like, jungle monkey sounds.mp3.
Yes.
Like, it's not even, like, a dinosaur sound. It's just a regular monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, multiple dinosaurs do the stock lion roar?
Yeah, there's...
Absolutely.
100% of the budget of this movie went towards the CG, the one Jim Henson puppet, and shooting on location in England. And
here's the thing. As goofy as the dinosaurs look, like they came out of an episode of Jimmy Neutron, for a 2002 made-for-TV movie, it's pretty solid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if we're putting this up against its contemporaries... So 2002, what is 2002? Attack of the Clones, The Matrix Reloaded,
like Harry Potter 1?
Harry Potter 2 is 02. I would say that, like, and Lord of the Rings Two Towers, it's all in the same zone here. I would say that, like, Dinotopia is, like, kind of aggressively in the middle of that list, special effects wise.
Like, they did get the team who did the Walking with Dinosaurs series.
That was the other.
To do the CGI.
Before we were recording, I knew there was another dinosaur thing, but I could not think of it. That's it. Mm-hmm. The difference between all those things in this is Attack of the Clones, Lord of the Rings 2, all that other stuff. Those are in movie theaters, and this is on TV. So that's what gives this thing, like, makes it feel special or whatever, despite the fact that it should not. And
there were a number of moments that I noticed while watching this where there were practical dinosaur elements. Like in the initial T-Rex attack of episode 1, where they're with that bus driver who has a soul patch both below and above his lips.
He had a Hitler mustache.
No, but it was like a Hitler on both sides. Like, it was like a mirrored Hitler.
The butterfly Hitler.
Okay. Does the Hitler stash only count when there's no other hair on the face?
Yeah, exactly. It was like a Rorschach of a Hitler mustache, because it was, like, repeated. But there was, like,
so
a
nice
practical...
he wanted it twice.
And I kind of remember this from, like, when they showed this on TV, they also had, like, Behind Dinotopia, like, either in, like, commercial breaks or whatever. And that was, like, they had a huge practical T-Rex foot that crashed through the roof of that building.
In this opening village sequence, before they meet Marion, there's a shot of a dinosaur tail smashing open a shop.
Yeah.
And that's
like bursting through a shop stall, and that is the, like, one real element, and that looked really good. Like, it had good collision because it was like a real ass dinosaur tail they were swinging.
It looked really good,
thing, though,
except for the fact that it had the Hallmark filter over it. And this movie.
Here's the thing: I guarantee you, those animatronics probably broke down, which is why they wrote the T-Rexes out of the movie.
Right. It's in episode 1. We are setting up hard. The T-Rexes are our predominant threat, that, like, the Sunstones are failing and the T-Rexes will dominate us all, and then the T-Rexes do not appear again after episode 1.
Kevin, hold on. We have to backtrack a little bit. What's a Sunstone?
Well, a Sunstone is a natural resource of Dinotopia that they apparently possess the ability to cast a protective veil over cities, villages, and civilizations that can keep the vicious dinosaurs at bay. How does a Sunstone differentiate a good dinosaur from a bad dinosaur? Fuck you. That's how the Sunstone knows. The Sunstone knows if you a bad dino. It knows if you a good dino.
The Sunstone
because
knows
it's a Sunstone.
All hail the Sunstone.
All hail the Sunstone.
But yeah, this dinosaur is rampaging, and everyone's freaking out except for the professor. The two kids are heroes. They're wanting to leave, but the professor's like, just wait a minute, and then out comes the love interest of this movie, Marion. And Marion does a Daniel in the Lion's Den thing with this dinosaur. Turns out the reason this dinosaur was upset was because his tooth hurt, and she pulled his tooth out.
Couldn't he have talked to someone about that?
That
Couldn't he have told someone?
Good point. You would think he just. Yeah, why wasn't he running through that village going, ow, 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 like, and then later on, we see the...
he should have just said, I need to go to the doctor. He didn't even know to talk to anyone. He could have just gone to the doctor.
And later on in the movie, we see that same dinosaur, and he's got, a giant ribbon around his head and a knot. He's got a 1950s toothache.
He's got a hot water bottle and a thermometer sticking out of his mouth.
Yes.
He's got a steak over one. He's got a steak strapped to his cheek.
I mentioned this earlier. Marion and David Thewlis, and everyone else in this movie, with the exception of the two leads, are very obvious, British actors, and they have the British accents. And then this is a Hallmark production thing. And so, one of the things that super turned me off really early on is, those British actors, the Hallmark production quality, the high fantasy elements. This feels like an edutainment Windows 98 computer game. It just feels like...
I've had those.
It feels like Amazon Trail. Not Oregon Trail, Amazon Trail. And
I know exactly where you're floating in the boat down the river in first person, and then it's like, the anaconda is a...
And you talk... And at the end of every level in the Amazon Trail, there's a medallion with a tiger face that talks to you. And it's got the FMV, and it feels like that, and it's like...
Yeah. If Jurassic Park is Call of Duty, then Dinotopia is Jumpstart third grade. It's really lo-fi educational video game.
Knowing it was 4.5 hours, knowing it was going to look like this and feel like this, oh god. So the two sons, and there's going to be a lot of blanks that y'all are going to have to fill in for me, and I apologize. But the two sons and Marion take a bus, which is a brontosaurus, out to Waterfall
It's bus
City.
in the way Silicon Valley describes it, which is a very large vehicle that can only carry a very small amount of people.
Yeah. It's a Bronto bus. This is some Flintstones shit. The Bronto looks at the camera and says, "It's a living." You think
well, they
you
actually
have a
do
crap
kind of.
job.
They all but say that brontosauruses do it because it's a living.
It's a living.
And at one point, the Great Gazoo comes and calls our heroes dum-dums.
Help, my brontosauruses have unionized.
Yes. And Mr. Slate's very upset. The brontosauruses walk out on the job.
Brings in cavemen to bonk him on the head with clubs.
Mr. Slate was really a fucking union-busting piece of shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Slate was a monster.
The only thing about the Flintstones is because no one wore shoes and no one was a bootlicker.
Right.
So
everyone was a hard hat because they wore turtle shells on their head.
Yes,
that's exactly right.
So they're on their way to Waterfall City, and and they get
so
trapped
named for its 37 distinct waterfalls.
Yes, everything in this, every single thing in this, all the creativity of Dinotopia is gone once you have to name locations, because there's Waterfall City, there's Canyon City, all this horseshit.
There's the Rainy Basin.
Rainy Basin.
Dinotopians are a practical people. They don't have time for your rich tapestric names. We don't name them after people because that glorifies people. We name them after the land
Dinosaurs
that we must take care of.
genuinely have no sense of metaphor.
Yes.
They don't. Most of them don't have abstract thought, which leads to a very pragmatic society.
And that's what
you
killed
think,
the
like,
dinosaurs.
26, if 26 read Huck Finn, do you think it would pick up on, like, the rich texture of a South that is disappearing? No! It would grasp, like, the Raft Adventure.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, they're on their way to Waterfall City, and they get trapped in this. Kevin mentioned it earlier. They get trapped in a village where they're attacked by T-Rexes. Plural.
Like 3 of them.
Yes. And they are saved by a character named Ono?
I think it's Uni.
His name is Oonoo.
I think it was Unu. It was,
Unu.
I am
Unu.
Unu, leader of the Skybex Riders.
And this is completely unrelated to anything, but if I don't share this story, I will have an aneurysm.
Please do.
There was
Not have an aneurysm. Please share the
tell
story.
the story, please.
So Unu was the last name of a Japanese manager that was on World Championship Wrestling. His name was Sonny Ono. And one time he was feuding with, or his client, the wrestler he managed, was feuding with a wrestler named Buff Bagwell. And because this was wrestling in the 1990s, at one point Buff Bagwell came out and cut a promo on Sonny Ono in yellowface. He was dressed as Sonny Ono, and he was in yellowface. But also because Buff Bagwell's gimmick was that, like, he was hot, he had a hot babe with him. And so he announced himself to the audience as, "Hello, everyone, I'm Sonny Oh No." And then he pointed at the hot babe and he says, "And this is Sonny Oh Yeah." And also, probably unrelated, but who knows? World Championship Wrestling was hit with a class action lawsuit about due to racial discrimination, and one of the people on that class action lawsuit was Sonny Ono. Weird thing.
Good for him.
So anyway,
Yeah, they were hit by a class action lawsuit by Dinotopia.
by Dinotopia. But Unu.
Someone came out in scale face.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Can I say also, real quick,
Oh, please.
fake racism in movies? Like, there's a lot of anti-dinosaur people in Dinotopia, and they refer to dinosaurs as scalies. Fake
There's only
racism.
one, I think.
Okay, there's one. Well, the name gets thrown around. The term scaly gets thrown around a handful of times.
Yeah, but it's only Crab who uses it.
This is-
Only
well,
Crab. He's
I think
a dino racist.
I think one of the two kids say it. I think Longhair says it.
Carl picks it up from
From
the professor.
from Crab, and then he says it, and they're like, "Whoa, dude!
Yes.
Whoa, you cannot use that word."
And I don't want to. Racism is a very real thing. I don't want
Yes.
to diminish that in any facet or anything. But I will say, fake racism and things like this, the terms they use in fake racism in like Dinotopia sound worse than real racist terms. Like scaly, and the worst one being Kevin, you know this, the one from the Caveman series on ABC.
Which I dare not even speak aloud, it is so nominally close to an actual racist term.
And it's just,
what Caveman series?
The one based on the Geico Cavemen series of commercials.
They did a show?
Which was, of course, adapted into a brief ABC sitcom, ABC, with Nick Kroll as one of the 3 primary cavemen, where, of course, throughout the world of cavemen, the cavemen, when referenced with a slur, are referred to as maggers.
Like Cro-Magnon?
Yes.
Yeah, but Maggers.
no.
And somehow, the creators of Cavemen, the producers of Cavemen, the studio that brought you Cavemen, and the Geico Insurance Company all looked at that word and said, sure.
The pilot of Cavemen was about one of the cavemen, like, being upset because some, like, person wouldn't let him marry their daughter. Like, it's like...
A human man would not let
yes.
his daughter marry a caveman.
Yes.
It's like in the Muppets reboot where, like, Fozzie Bear goes on a date with it, like has dinner with his girlfriend's parents, and it turns out her dad is Auntie Bear.
Yeah, and it's like, first off, like, and I'm not saying, like, racism shouldn't be talked about. Like, people need to realize what is racist and, like, how it's terrible and how it's destructive. But it's like, I don't know, maybe, like, a sitcom inspired by Geico commercials isn't the place for that conversation.
Maybe
Or
the
fucking Muppets.
Maybe the Muppets isn't.
Like, dog, this is something that has been sticking in my craw for a long time, but especially, like, recently, where every fucking fictional universe feels the need to create some new form of fantasy racism, where almost exclusively the people that have racism done on them are white actors playing nominally white characters. Like, oh, could you imagine racism happening to these people? And like, it was, you know, I just watched H-Bomber Guy's long review of the YouTube anime Ruby, where they contrive some fucking form of racism. The fucking Marvel Comics universe, and I love the X-Men, but, like, that's a clumsy race metaphor.
Oh no, what bias is Jean Grey going through today?
Right, like, okay, so, like, I get it, when Stanley and Jack Kirby create the X-Men in the 60s, the idea is that you're trying to teach rich Connecticut and upstate New York white kids about racism in 1962. Like,
yes.
I do kind of get what you're doing there. It's not a perfect metaphor, obviously, because it is upper crust white kids named Scott. But
just because it's cutting edge doesn't mean it stayed sharp.
Right, it's very good. It did not stay sharp, but it's just sticking in my craw that every fucking mudbloods in Harry Potter, like, they all
I prefer
feel
the slur
the
can't
need.
spell.
Isn't it
No Madge?
Isn't it in X-Men First Class where, like, someone's like, I didn't know you were a mutant, and he's like, they didn't ask, so I didn't tell, and he's in the military. And it's just
it was something like that.
In all fairness, the X-Men movies have always bungled that.
I mean, the mutant metaphor specifically, because that's the one that I'm most familiar with, like, grows and changes depending on the societal movement it is beside. So, like, in the 80s and 90s, the mutants pivot sort of away from black people and into the gay people specifically, but now the larger LGBT community. And so that's how you get, like, X2, where, you know, a kid is essentially coming out to his mom, and she's like, have you tried not being a mutant? And it's this, it permeates throughout the whole thing. And again, like, the X-Men is, you know, my favorite comic books ever, but every fucking fantasy universe feels the need to do this. And you just don't have to. You just don't. Sorry, folks.
It's all good.
So they meet Mayor Waldo in Waterfall City.
They meet King Budget Harry Shearer, and I think it's him who gives Marion the Sunstone, and as soon as he gives her the Sunstone, she evolves into Sunflora.
Vern, I was gonna make the same fucking joke, but about Bellossom.
Okay.
So.
I thought most people knew Blossom, but Sunflora had the consonant count, so it had the
Sunflower
right
was
count.
good. Yeah, he gives his daughter the sunstone from the woman who was offering us exposition at the beginning of the woman from the cold open of Dinotopia.
Yes.
Yeah.
At one point during this, the way on Amazon Prime or through IMDb TV or whatever it is, the commercials are literally just like dropped in at random. And the very first commercial I got, majority of the commercials I got were for fabric softener. And it hard cuts to this like bathroom, and it kind of looks like a Hallmark thing. So up until like he starts talking about fabric softener, I thought it was more of Dinotopia. They don't like fade out to commercials. But the two sons, the two kids, while Marion is getting the Sunstone, they learn the rules of Dinotopia. Of course, rule number 1 being don't talk about Dinotopia, and rule number 2 being don't talk about Dinotopia. I guess they forgot. I guess they shot this thing out of order, and they realized that they wanted the long-haired one to fall in love with Marion, and they messed it up because in this first part, Adam falls in love with Marion, and like
it is a love triangle, Vern.
Yeah.
And like all the best love triangles, at the end there is no resolution.
Yes, and it just
nobody ends up with anybody.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
the real love story was the dinos we met along the way.
Yes. I will say, like, probably Longhair ends up with Marion more so than Adam does, but
Except Marion does end up with someone. She
This
ends
is
up
true.
with Zippo.
she ends up with Zippo.
She ends up with it.
I mean, she saw the tail and she's like, yes, absolutely.
I mean, no, guys, let's be real here. It's a lavender marriage for Zippo.
Yeah. No, Lavender is definitely a friend of Uncle's. You know what I mean? Like, Zippo is really like lighting the loafers if you're catching my dino drift.
Marion is a beard. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Zippo hangs out down at the docks, again, if you are catching my drift.
Gotcha.
He's a big friend of Dorothy.
David and Carl end up in Zippo's home when they arrive in Dinotopia. He is assigned to house them while they're awaiting their assignments.
And by the way, guys, listeners, if we haven't clarified, Zippo's a dinosaur.
Zippo is a dinosaur.
Yes.
I don't know enough about dinosaurs to tell you what kind of dinosaur, but he's like a big friendly raptor. Like if a raptor and an ostrich fucked, you have Zippo.
He looks like a doofy
I think he's a
raptor.
Struthiomimus.
Yeah, sure.
Which
you
literally
fucking
means
dork.
ostrich mimic.
If
Oh, cool.
So
Oh,
raptors are mean looking. This looks like a nice looking raptor.
Yeah.
This
A
is like
nice
he's like
raptor.
Keeps constantly microaggressing them.
He's
Oh, yeah.
very nice. He speaks in like a pithy little British accent. He's like, "Oh yes, I've heard about you humans for a long time. I'm very curious." And they stay at his nice home, and they see a portrait of Zippo's original human familiar that he was assigned with. And Carl goes, "Whoa, how'd you get such a hottie? Did you fucking hit that Zippo? Did you get that tail wet and that sweet human familiar?
You know that Zippo's hitting the back walls.
Did you crush?
Zippo, did you smash? Did you get it in?"
And Zippo's
Zippo
like,
ain't afraid of no Cretaceous period, let me tell you that.
That's what I'm saying.
and Zippo's all like, oh heavens, I've never heard such language or what. I mean, yeah. So,
Yeah, whatever nonsense.
yeah. But yeah, he's raising, or he's not raising them, but they're living with him. At some point, the two brothers get into a fight over their dad. Like, one of them has, I mean, perhaps rightfully so, written off the dad as being dead. The last we
Dad's dead. No, Dad's alive. And they
The
get
last
into a
time
punch
we-
fight about it.
Yes.
I didn't even love Dad anyway!
The last time we saw Dad he was strapped inside of an airplane on the bottom floor of the Pacific Ocean, but I don't know, he could have survived. And so, like,
Plane crashes, that thing that people famously live from.
yes, Amelia Earhart, Buddy Holly,
Kevin,
like, they're all...
your favorite show is entirely about people who survive a plane crash.
Except it's a small group of 34 survivors and several on the other side of the island from the tail end of the plane. On a plane of about 200, you have a scant few that survive, and most of them are main characters who survived via fate, who survived via the machinations of destiny.
The script called for them to survive.
Wait, hold on. We also failed to mention that these two guys are the first arrivals since the 1940s, because Dinotopians know about the start of World War II.
Oh yes,
but not
But they
who
were-
won.
Oh, how did all that business with the Germans end?
yeah,
and then they
it's-
say, we won, but clarify no further.
Yeah.
Clarify where they're from.
They say he's like, we won that, and then there was Vietnam. He never mentions anything about a victor there. I think
he just says we won, and I guarantee you, just some old Luftwaffe pilot just quietly pumps his fist.
That what I'm thinking is, given that Dinotopia is nominally in the Pacific, there is a fairly high chance that if someone crashed there from World War II, it was a Japanese pilot. so maybe they knew all the wrong shit about World War II. Like maybe Dinotopia was an Axis power waiting to happen, and they just never got reinforcements. They never got off Dinotopia. But if the war came to Dinotopia, they would beat those stinking Yanks back into the sea.
That does explain all the kamikaze pterodactyls at the end of part 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
Yes, our last visitor told us a little bit about this divine wind business. You know, it would have been very interesting if we had followed up on that thread. You know, the crash lander would have been approximately 80 some odd years old.
Yeah. Potentially,
He could still be alive. If I'm David and Carl, I gotta ask, hey, do you have that guy around? This World War II POW? This MIA? Can I meet him?
yeah.
They'd want to meet the one guy most likely to understand their points of reference.
There's a lot of things that are more interesting and could be a lot more interesting that never get touched. This is we came in with the lore, we're sticking with it. You know what I mean? That would have been way more fascinating than some of the things that do happen in this. At some point, after there was Vietnam too. After that, to a auditorium full of dinosaurs, the two sons get into a fight over their dead dad, and they split up, and one of them goes to talk to Professor Crab to I don't know, because he's the first person they saw, I don't know. And Professor Crab convinces Longhair to steal a book from the Dino librarian that they're living with, from Zippo.
Which is unthinkable on Dinotopia. Dinotopia is a topia, right? You know, it is a kingdom of... It's in their creed. Information is for everyone. Mm-hmm. Learning is what is most important.
There's no guns in Dinotopia.
No guns. Everyone's a vegetarian.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is truly fucking shoot me out of a cannon to Dinotopia. It seems fucking choice there.
Everyone is guaranteed employment of some sort.
Even at the end, whenever all the pterodactyls are picking up people and dropping them in volcanoes, I'd rather live there than live here in America.
Given everything that's happening right now, fucking... Should have taken a right turn at Albuquerque. Send me to fucking Dinotopia. They assign you a dinosaur. You get a dinosaur.
Yes, you get assigned a dinosaur, and also, and this was something that I missed until I read the synopsis, when you arrive at Dinotopia, you cannot leave, and you have to join their customs. Yes. And so that's why I was so confused. It's why do they have to take this test? Why do they have to, I didn't realize...
They have to assimilate because there is no escape.
Yes.
There's no escape. How are they gonna get back to the mainland? It's a remote island. There's lots of rocks and shit.
How are they gonna live without DVDs?
Yeah, it's a real. Despite all of its like positive things, it is kind of a flat Earth society. One of the two sons, and this is they get into an argument about this as well with the over the dead dad, but like one of the two sons, like he chatted up Marion, so he's feeling pretty good about Dinotopia, but the other one is not feeling good about it, and so like the one that looks like my friend Adam, he takes his studies very seriously. The other one doesn't, and then there's like an exam they have to take or something like that, and Carl, the long hair one, he cheats, and his answer on this exam is lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody.
So they have to write a rumination on the 10 Dino Commandments.
That's right.
And Carl, the long-haired one,
Yes.
writes the opening soft-spoken screed to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
And note that he's already shirking his studies because he's teaching Zippo how to play ping pong.
Yes, that's a thing that I was going to say comes up later, but like they just play ping pong later. It doesn't advance anything. But yes, Zippo and Carl play ping pong, and Zippo is not very good at it, but he likes it. But yeah, Carl shirks his responsibilities, and that's another point of contention with Adam, is that like you're not taking this seriously. So much so that they get into a fist fight and they fall off a waterfall. And
You'd think there'd be higher rails in a location called Waterfall City.
yes,
Nah, dog, this is Star Wars rules, baby.
I was
You're on the
just
edge of a
gonna say.
precipitous cliff, and there's like a light suggestion
in a
of
society for animals as well coordinated as 10-foot-long dinosaurs.
you like the difference being like I could see where maybe it might be not safe to walk around in a place called the Death Star, but a place called Dinotopia you'd think have some damn safety rails. But this is how it is. They fall off a waterfall, and the next scene, there's not ever a scene where everyone's like, where did those two dumb kids go? Like, the next scene, everyone treats it like, well, they're gone forever. Like,
Where are the first new people we've had in 60 years?
it's like, there's not a scene at all, like, where Zippo's like, all right, I've made chili for the kid, or whatever.
It's vegetarian
chili. All right, I've made lettuce wraps for the two
All
dumb
right,
kids.
boys, who would like a Buddha bowl?
Yeah.
I made chili.
Zippo, he's lying.
I dare say, boys, I've prepared the game day chicken wings.
All right, boys, I've made my favorite. Tiny hot dogs wrapped in bacon with toothpicks stabbed through them.
I dare say, boys, I've got the pigs and blankets. Get your quiches in here. The 49ers are down in the second half.
And Zippo
Come on,
gets,
boys, the Steelers are on and the Poppers are hot.
Zippo.
Carl told me about these jalapeno poppers.
And instead of buffalo wings or pterodactyl wings.
Yeah. It's TGI Fridays, but the T stands for T-Rex.
Yes.
Oh my god! ABC, Hallmark, please give us this property. We will
Let us-
not let you down.
This thing needs a rewrite. Call us. We're the only
This
people
thing-
that know the material.
Send us. We will make the Disney Plus a Dinotopia revival, please. Please.
That's all we're asking. So the two kids, they fall down a waterfall and like end up in the middle of the jungle because it's Dinotopia or whatever. Is it Marion who consults the male bird, Terry Jones?
Marion and Zippo, they go together.
They go and they find a bird that delivers mail, and because it's a Disney property, the male bird is voiced by a British comedian. In the original Lion King, it's Rowan Atkinson, and then for the remake, it's John Oliver. Every once in a while, they'll throw Gilbert Godfrey in to do Iago. In this one, it's Terry Jones of Monty Python. huge bummer that this was the most recent time I've heard Terry Jones's voice, because for the last couple of years of Terry Jones's life, he was incapable of speaking. Huge bummer that he wasted his vocal cords on this fucking bird in Dinotopia. They ask Terry Jones to fly down the river and find the two kids. It's at this point, the bird finds Zippo, and there's a shot of those two talking back and forth. And in the reverse shot of Zippo, it's like, a 16:9 frame. It's a large rectangle frame, and Zippo is just this long-necked dinosaur that takes up the center of the frame. And his head space between the top of his head and the top of the frame is like a 20-foot gap. And at that point, I look over to my left, and I see my 2 cases of DVDs and Blu-rays, and I realize I'm watching 4.5 hours of Dinotopia, and I write in all capital letters on my notes, 3 lines wide, "This sucks." At this point, I was just out.
Might as well just use a hand puppet for that shot.
Yes.
Like,
it's such an ugly shot, and it's such God, and
it will be my next profile picture.
And it's it's just a ugly shot. But anyway, the 2 sons are floating down the river, and they get attacked by alligators, crocodiles.
They're ambiguous.
And they're
Dino gators.
Dino gators.
A dinosaur extrapolation of the gator.
Yes. And correct me if I'm wrong. The one that looks like Adam dies. He gets killed.
No,
I think he just drowns a little bit.
I
think
he's lifeless, and then Marion touches him, and he comes back to life.
Well, that's because Marion is magic.
Marion. Okay, Vern, you simply must understand that Marion is a hot lady, and in stories like this, if a hot lady touches you. Okay, here, let's look at it this way, shall we? 1 year before Dinotopia was the movie Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, and they cast a woman who looks vaguely enough like Liv Tyler that if you squint, you might be confused. And in that movie, Liv Tyler brings Frodo back to life. So they just kind of said, oh, curly-haired, brown-haired women can just bring people back to life.
Okay,
well, no,
you're saying Marion...
It actually refers more to the long-time sci-fi fantasy trope of, since women can't have, cool combat powers or, are able to lift couches, they instead have
Marion
magic,
is their party's
empathy,
healer.
and healing touches. The very presence of a woman is calming and rejuvenating.
So Marion
is so
party's
pure.
Healer.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Marion is so pure she can revive life into you because she is, again, a pretty enough lady that she can do anything.
But she's poor because she expresses no real sexual interest in neither Carl nor David.
So it's
Precisely.
Zippo... Is Zippo the mage?
Zippo is the... what would you say, Justin? Like a cleric? Maybe a wizard because he reads a lot? He's got a high knowledge
he's technically
stat.
a wizard. He's a bachelor wizard.
Yeah, he's got a high enough knowledge stat that I would say it's probably a wizard. Carl is, of course, a barbarian.
Yes.
Which leaves David as maybe sort of he'd be a
He's
ranger
a rogue.
because he has a familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. We've D&D partied Dinotopia.
It's at that moment, unceremoniously, part 1 ends. That's the end of part 1, and we're on to part 2.
Yeah.
It just kind of ends. Just kind of. I guess technically, Adam's dead. But it's just kind of hard cuts to credits, and just kind of it's over. That's the end of part 1.
Well, no, that's just further part of my theory that this is meant to be a 4.5-hour film, because the way they end the episodes are so unceremoniously and without any real conclusion that
I'll give you that.
you have to just watch the next episode to have any real sense of, like, narrative flow.
My only true argument against that is that I feel like the second episode that we're about to talk about does have a very clear narrative through line that is resolved by the end of the 90-minute period. This second episode is about our boys. They separate. They go to their different assignments. They each find their dino familiar. And by the end of the episode, they have either achieved or forsaken their station. Mm-hmm. You know, that is the through line here, because Dinotopia, you are assigned your role. And there's this one lady named Rosemary, and she looks at you and she says, "You're a butcher, you're a tailor, and here's your fucking dinosaur. Go nuts."
The Borg Queen.
Yeah.
She's the Borg Queen, Star Trek First Contact.
Old 6 of 9 over here.
7 of 9 wasn't a Borg Queen. She's a former Borg.
7 of 9. You're right. I just don't know fucking anything about Star Trek.
You're fine to not. You're fine to not.
It's okay. If Chris Pine ain't in it, I ain't interested. So we each of our boys, after communing with the dinosaurs in some real hippie, like, one with the earth shit. Communing with the dinosaurs, of course, just involves a bunch of brachiosauruses stomping on the ground real loud.
It's basically if you went to a service and the priest just yelled for like 20 minutes.
It is essentially a Pentecostal service for dinosaurs.
Yes.
There's
a weird aside that, like, Zippo makes Carl tea that makes you live to 150 years.
Yeah, and then later on, someone's tea, like, they get drugged through it. Longhair does. Like, he gets up to leave the meditation ceremony, the one, like, the dinosaur you'll get assigned to, and he gets up to leave. He's like, "This is bullshit," and he gets up and he just passes out. So, like, it leads you to believe that the Borg Queen is a heel, but she never does anything heelish after that. She's just there.
No, she is. Her morality, her moral compass is the matriarch moral compass, where whatever she thinks you need is the morally correct decision.
Yeah.
If anyone else made her same decisions, they would be morally unjust, but because she is the all-knowing woman, the evolutionary form of the Pretty Woman healer is the Pretty Woman know-it-all, and she is the Pretty Woman know-it-all, and anything she says is correct.
This is, again, proof that this is a liberal society, because this liberal society listens to women.
Yeah, they call her matriarch, and that is, like, her title.
That's true.
So we all listen to her. Yeah, go ahead, Bert.
Real quick, do we want to take a break, or do you mind if I step out just to feed my dog?
Feed Reagan, know, make sure that she acknowledges the AIDS crisis. Justin and I will continue on, if that's all right with you, Justin.
Yes. Yes.
Well, then, here's what I'll do. If you're okay with, like, spotty audio quality, I'll just carry my Zoom with me.
Spotty audio, delicious. Okay. I say we make it happen. Okay. So David, our meek, shall we say, producer Adam character. Now, you'd think he'd be assigned to like a hatchery, a nature preserve. No. He's joining the Dino Air Force. He's going to be one of the Skybex riders under Captain Unu. Whereas Carl, who's kind of the bad boy, he lives on the edge.
The guy who's explicitly good at flying.
He is assigned to the hatchery, where he must take care of little baby dinosaurs. Don't you see? Their characters are inverted. They're getting not what they
have
want,
to find
but what
new
they
dimensions
need.
To themselves that they're told they have.
They must go beyond themselves, stretch themselves, and that is how they will achieve great things. Don't you see? Don't you understand?
So I want to make a quiet backtrack real quick to when Zippo testifies before Congress.
Sure.
And so is Dinotopia having, like, an energy crisis?
It is having... So the Sunstones, the self-perpetuating energy rocks that provide protective shields over Dinotopia, are failing all across Dinotopia. Essentially an energy crisis. And Zippo proposes that they invade Iraq. I'm sorry, that they go to the world beneath to acquire more sunstones.
From, like, Atlantis.
From Atlantis, but, like, if Atlantis was where all the bad people lived and there was a treaty with Atlantis.
Right, so
Zippo...
like, are T-Rexes, like, sovereign? Do they have sovereign territory? Like, are they conscious like the other dinosaurs are? Or are they just mindless predators?
All of the dinosaurs on the other side of the moral line with Dinotopia are predicted within this to be just baser instinct beasts. They operate on only the carnal level. I know hunger. I am going to destroy. They are not depicted as having any sovereignty or higher level of thought.
Except for the white ones.
Except... Well, yeah, the albino one is one of the good ones. So... that is what Zippo proposes. And of course this is denied. We don't go down into the world beneath because it'll piss off the T-Rexes, but our T-Rex budget is out, so actually it'll piss off the pterodons.
we have to introduce a new threat. Let's see, what is it? 2 hours into this story?
Yes. So that's fine. So David goes off to Canyon City to join the Ender's Game Pterodactyl Academy. There he meets...
He has to join the infantry from Starship Troopers.
Yeah, it's all of that. And there's, like, he has to learn how to ride the Skybex, mechanical Skybex simulator.
yeah, the bucking bull.
Available in every honky tonk bar in Dinotopia. There's like a little Skybex riding simulator. And so David has to master that and get a pterodon to trust him. The pterodon can sense fear. A Skybex. And
famous and beloved dinosaur, the Skybex.
Of course.
We all love the Skybex. We all know what they are. It's all good stuff. So David... and an albino Skybex that he will come to call Freefall form a sort of partnership at the same time that David forms a sort of partnership with his cute blonde patrol mate who he should just smooch. Enough of this marrying business, just smooch the blonde.
Yes, he meets Captain Marvel and is into her. Also, it's important to note that Marion was not assigned a dinosaur. In the story, it's because she's good at all dinosaurs. In reality, it's because, like, come on, you're the female. We have nothing for you in this movie. Come on, like
you can't have a job.
Like, come on, you're a love interest. That's your role as a female in a story told by Disney. Come on.
All right, so like your job, you are allowed to be cool up until the point where the boys have to take over and save the day.
Yes,
you can be cool.
You can't be in the climax.
No. You can teach the boys how to be in the climax, but you cannot be in the climax. No.
No.
At the same time, Carl, why'd you do that, Carl? I had the tummy rumblies that only face could satisfy. Llamas with Hats, everyone.
Okay.
A YouTube video from approximately the year Dinotopia came out.
Maybe a little bit before.
Maybe a little bit before. So Carl's working at the hatchery, and he is assigned to dinosaur number 26, which is an egg.
26, of course, being the number of chapters in The Catcher in the Rye. Guys, I hate John Lennon.
Hey, wait a minute. Dinotopia, I'm just getting a weird feeling like I have to go kill John Lennon?
Something about his music, whenever he says he doesn't believe in Beatles, really upsets me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm just starting to feel, there's something about John Lennon that I just don't like.
And
it's
I've been talking...
It's welling up with you. I need to go impress Jodie Foster. Just like real quick.
Just real quick. I'm going to kill John Lennon, but first I am going to have him autograph my copy of Double Fantasy. I want to get the last one. But yes.
Vintage.
And of course it was Double Fantasy, the album that John did. Half him and half Yoko. So half that album's good. So you mentioned he gets gifted an egg. Mary and Adam go to Canyon City. The professor comes back, and somewhere during the scene, Zippo learns that the professor is a bad guy. He sees an arrow that was pointing at him at the very first scene of the movie.
Zippo looks up above the eye line and sees the big bad guy arrow.
He sees a neon blinking arrow, and then we see this is a new sentence. An old man hits a dinosaur with a cane and throws him down a waterfall. That's in my notes, and that's what happens in Dinotopia.
And they did.
Well, no, Vern. Nigel Thulis isn't an old man. It's just Nigel Thulis.
Yeah, or David.
Not
Thulis,
Nigel
or,
David.
His name is David. I think you are confusing him with a Thornberry. Just like real quick.
They're both dressed the same. He's dressed the same as Nigel Thornberry. Yeah.
Pretty the same. I like the very lo-fi special effect when Zippo is in the bag that it is just like probably a human in the bag, just like waving their hands around. I like that kind of cheapo special effect thing. It was nice.
But yeah, he throws him down a waterfall. While that's happening, Adam is undergoing his training for the Dino Air Force, the RAF, the Raptor Air Force, and as part of his training, I'm doing my part. As part of his training, he's put on the mechanical bull at Cardinal Village, and he keeps getting thrown off of it, and that's like to help him overcome his fear of heights. With the rest of his class, he has to climb a mountain and jump a crevice and carve his name into a rock. With the rest of the class, it's by the way, we neglected to mention it, but Ono is teaching this class, or Unu, or
Unu. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, we mentioned it, but it was while you were feeding Reagan.
Oh, gotcha.
This is Strahd territory.
My bad. So
the footprint language done already walked through this part of the show.
He's too afraid. Also, like, you would think in this utopian society they would be above carving their name into a rock. You know what I mean? Because it's just like destructive to the environment. But what do I know?
Mm-hmm.
You're not a Dinotopian, Vernon.
I'm not a
I'm sorry to say, you probably never will be.
I guess that's the Dinotopian thing to do. A thing that is said in this miniseries.
It's the Dinotopian thing to do.
It's a Dinotopian thing to do. It's a Dinotopia thing.
Truth, justice, in the Dinotopian way.
But Longhair's egg hatches. And he's gifted a baby 26. 26 is
Elon Musk's first draft of a name.
Yes, it's a Triceratops later on in the movie, but it doesn't look like a Triceratops in this first part.
They keep calling it, I think, like an Allosaurus or something.
They call
to
it
that
a
effect.
Chasmosaurus, which is a kind of Triceratops, but they keep saying it's a kind of Hadrosaur, which is a duckbill.
Like, later on in the movie, it has that thing that Sarah from The Land Before Time has. That little, like, thing behind her head.
Yeah. And David, at the same time, learns to ride Petrie.
Yes.
you can go pick up your puppet from your local Pizza Hut, your Petrie puppet.
Zippo,
you could not go to a fucking yard sale for a decade without finding 4 of those fucking Pizza Hut Petries.
My sister had 2 of them.
Yep.
And Zippo eats some tree stars.
Yeah, and we have to, unfortunately, the Dinotopia ran out of its budget for Sharptooth, so they had to pivot really hard. Sorry, everyone.
It's all good. There's David Thewlis's character is missing a leg, so he has a little foot.
which he blames on a carnivore, who are, like, explicitly not part of Dinotopian society?
Right, but he's one of those guys.
He's a trickster.
David,
you can't trust him.
Crab was looking for a reason to be racist. It didn't matter what the dinosaurs actually did. You know, because you hear these arguments all the time is like, why do the dinosaurs burn these stores down? They're just, like, giving fire to the racists. But, like, David Lewis was going to be racist no matter what the dinosaurs did. So, like, now that the social contract with the carnivores is broken, like, maybe some stores should be burned down, you know? Like, I don't know. Dino Target? They have insurance. They'll be fine.
Yeah, and also, like, a lot of these Dinotopian buildings are being, like, destroyed by the government of Dinotopia and being blamed. And, like, so, like, the Anti-Fang are being blamed for it. You know, and Anti-Fang doesn't even exist.
They're bussing in dinosaurs from out of town, and those dinosaurs are the one wreaking the havoc, and then they hop on the bus and they leave,
throwing them onto the backs of unmarked brontosauruses, instead of Portland, it's Port City. Adam,
hey, if it's called Port City, I know what I'm gonna find there. All right, none of this chicanery. Don't call it Des Moines. Call it Nothing Town, and I know what's there for me.
Call it empty.
Call it empty.
Yes.
Just if you called Tallahassee Swampville, like, I know what to expect.
Yeah, if you just call it like Methville, Meth City, or something.
Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, we understand now. I wonder. There's a lot of, like, whenever I worked at Disney, there's a lot of, like, there's a dinosaur ride in Animal Kingdom, and Animal Kingdom was the park that I went to the least because it closed at, like, 1 or 2, and like hell I was going to wake up before 1 or 2 on a day off in Disney.
Why does it close that early?
I'm not 100% sure. They would be open for extra magic hours, or, as Disney cast members refer to it, extra tragic hours. They would be open later on some nights during the summer. I'm not entirely sure why they'd close so early. But I wonder if there's a Dinotopia thing there. I know whenever I was working there was still a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground.
Hell yes!
So there was, like,
that's
and there's
the best
still, like,
idea for a playground I've ever heard.
It was super cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Big
Epcot,
shit. It rules.
And, like,
giant
and there's
ants, man.
One of the walls had
a
one of the walls of the Honey I Shrunk the Kids playground had a giant dog nose that, like, blew air out at you. It's pretty fun.
Yes.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I think, like, whenever I still worked there, I worked there in 2010. Like, they still had, like, that attraction with Figment with Eric Idle in it. So, like, they still had some holdovers from old stuff. So I wonder if there was a Dinotopia thing there whenever I was working there.
They probably had, like, a walk-around character.
Maybe.
For like a month.
You could, or like Zippo was in the Animal Kingdom parade or some shit.
Yeah.
Probably was.
Dinotopia should be like a fucking Galaxy's Edge. Like, you should. That's what it's optimally designed for. Is like walk around this dino village.
Like, they should have done Dinotopia instead of the Avatar, like, outpost.
Right, or like Autopia or whatever. Like, we should be able to walk around Dinotopia.
I should be able to, like, go to a booth marked hatchery and then, like, pick a, like, dinosaur that I can watch hatch out of an egg and take home.
Yeah, like a Disney,
like a Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a Hatchimal that is a Disney, that is a Build-A-Bear.
Yes!
The Animal Kingdom, the original logo, I don't know if it still is this logo, it had a lion, a dinosaur, and, like, a dragon on it. And originally there was going to be 3 kingdoms within Animal Kingdom, and there was going to be, like, the dinosaur land, there's going to be the traditional animal land, and there was going to be the beastly kingdom, and that was going to be animals of lore, so like your unicorns and your dragons and stuff like that. But Animal Kingdom came in through the Eisner administration, and they're like, we're fine. We got 2 of the 3. It's all good.
Yeah, well, no, they really wanted to make Euro Disney work.
They sure tried, and France really like fought back on that. Like, hell no, you're not going to have a dress code where all the employees look the same. Are you fucking kidding me? And
This is
What do you
France,
mean
the
we
capital
can't
of
drink
fashion.
or smoke on the clock?
yes, and so Disney backed up the big Euro truck, and suddenly France was like, you know what? It's okay.
Never mind, as long as the check clears.
Although I would kill to see a classic French strike riot happen at Disneyland.
Oh, fuck me, yes. So
Tear
hard,
it
yes.
up.
Like,
Because the French, like, as evidenced during the recent, like, Black Lives Matter protests, the French still know how to fucking do it up. The best in the world at civil unrest.
fucking
Nobody-
Cinderella gets taken to the guillotine and gets decapitated.
Fucking
Just
crank
someone
that head
decks
off.
Goofy.
Elsa, with the fucking hangman's axe, just fucking breaking down rules.
Absolutely.
Rules.
I am into it. And it's like Gaston is leading the charge and is fucking punching people out.
Fuck yes.
Punching up
Yes,
the
and
yellow vests.
And companion to Bastille Day is House of Mouse Day, or whatever the fuck.
Hell
The day
yeah.
the mouse cried. Rules. So episode 3 of Dinotopia, honestly, not
Whoa, okay,
a whole
all
lot
right.
happens. Not a
it's
whole-
episode 3. Back to the plot.
Yes,
Back to the plot. And so Crab loads the Sunstones have finally failed, and we are fucked. You know, if only our incompetent government had listened to us. We warned of this day, and the day has come. Crab loads up the boys into his submarine, takes them to the underground cave where they can get more Sunstones, and their dad is just there.
This is
Okay, so
first off.
to backtrack, I need to
First off,
clarify
this is the
something.
sound of Kevin being like, "Oh my god, we're actually going to go towards 4 hours. I need to hurry this up."
Yes, that is exactly it. It's after 9 p.m.
Yes.
I would like to not do this forever.
I do need to say something. This program does something that baffles me, where it does adaptation by being a sequel. Because the whole backstory of, like, Lee Crab's dad and, like, the old Victorian adventurer and all of that, that's in the actual book.
Oh, I saw that.
yeah?
Yeah, I saw that this was like this Dinotopia that we watched. I saw that it was actually like book 1 and 2.
Yes.
Is that accurate, or is it like
Yes,
part
it is.
of
So
book 2?
so the books were done by, like, a veteran sci-fi fantasy artist. Who just, drew a whole bunch of cool concept art and then wrote like a very bare narrative to go with it.
Okay.
And he published them, and those are the Dinotopia.
He's one of the authors that anytime I meet someone who's creative, or they find out that I'm creative or try to be creative or whatever it is, I say like, "Oh, what do you do?" And they say, "I'm a writer." And I go, "Oh, what is the thing you're working on?" They're like, "Well, it's a story, but really it's like 3 stories." He's one of those people. Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. It's like you're starting with like, "Oh, it's 3 stories right off the bat."
Well, right, except they're picture books, so there isn't really. It's all lore. There's not
Yes.
really a story to any of it.
I think that's part of like just why this didn't click. I mean, we'll get to our final thoughts at some point soon, but like I think that's part of why Dinotopia didn't click for me, because it's like I'm not a big lore guy. The backstory doesn't mean anything if it doesn't add to the present.
Right.
And I'm just not a big lore person.
And they do a really bad job connecting the backstory to the present.
Yes. It kind of...
Like, there is no real context given to anything.
Yeah, it's just... It's there, and like, I don't know, it's just... It's not... I don't know, it's just not attractive if it doesn't do anything. If like... It was written in the before times that 2 men would come and they would save our kingdom. there's nothing that's like connected to this whatsoever. I'll do the Spark Notes version of this. Ono informs King Budget Harry Shearer that T-Rexes are attacking. My second favorite part of this whole thing, Zippo says he hates senators. The long-haired kid grows to love 26. They end up
starts talking in the worst voice.
Yes.
Carl!
The professor...
Yeah, it grows into the llama from Llamas with Hats.
Yes, it's a dinosaur with hats.
Why would you do that, Carl?
The professor gives Carl a gun. Carl drops one of the flares into a fountain. The three get arrested and they're put on trial. Zippo is their lawyer. He addresses the room. He goes, "Dello Felicets." Marion convinces
Misa propose.
Yes. Marion convinces the king that the two are good. Their rule is unfit for trial because they have to go back to school. 26 gets taken away from the two. The professor helps them hatch a plan. The two, Marion and Zippo, go to the archives. They find a secret journal, but the Dino Cops come after them, and the professor loads a gun. They go on a log flume ride, which I think was like them planning a Disney attraction, but it never got made.
Exactly. They go on the prototype to the Dinotopia ride.
Yes.
But I think you're both being a little too generous to this POV log flume sequence, which I swear to God is ripped directly out of a Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban DVD game. Like, I swear that if you bought the Dinotopia DVD, this sequence would just have like arrow keys mapped over it that you would have to hit occasionally.
I think the sequence is technically ripped from the Goonies, because they have that whole log flume sequence when they're riding the river down into the caves.
Yeah. But it maybe it was just because it was entirely CGI created in a POV, that when you played the Sir Cadogan based DVD game on the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban DVD, that this felt exactly like that.
Yes.
Anyway, they take a submarine.
There's a bad guy reveal of the professor, but he immediately starts being nice to them. So I'm confused. That's another moment where I'm just like, is this clumsy filmmaking, or like is he duping them? And I wasn't sure. It was him duping them, but also clumsy filmmaking.
I think he's duping them because he sincerely wants to save Dinotopia, so he doesn't get eaten by dinosaurs.
Yes,
right. He does not want to get ate.
But he builds a submarine. Captain Marvel comes back for one scene. I get fucking pissed off because I completely wrote her off in the second section and didn't take any notes. And so I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know anything that she's going to do. I forgot she existed. She comes back for one scene, and I'm like, I'm going to be so lost for the podcast. And then she disappears after this one scene. So
right, yeah, she doesn't do anything.
Marion took her sunstone that the old lady gave to her, and she put it in
the
the
heart of the
submarine.
ocean. The heart of the ocean.
Dinosaur. To the heart of the dinosaur to power the submarine, and the king, and this is where the king asks for it, and she's like, "Oh, I put it in the submarine," and the king says, and she says, "I thought it was a Dinotopian thing to do," and the king is like, "I hope it was worth these lives." They find the underground. The submarine passes by the boat. They don't see Dad, but they find Dad in an underground city. The dad has this, like, comedy beard, and he
looks like Patchy the Pirate.
Yes. He has the strength to punch out the professor, but nothing after that.
How long have they been on Dinotopia?
So Unu says that Skyback's training takes 100 days.
So that's how long they were, like, implied, because this is one of those, like, Empire Strikes Back scenarios where it earnestly could have been 2 days or 20. It's very unclear how long they have been doing this.
And
I think
the
it's
two look the
3
exact
months.
same. Like, the two boys look the exact same through the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Yeah, he's been like there's no vegetation or there's anything down in this cave, but somehow he survived.
How is he still tan after 3 months
How
in a cave
did he
eating mollusks?
And I
They
think-
literally hand wave how he survives.
And I think he's like,
they needed a submarine to get in here. And they
Yes.
needed to, like, hold their breath for minutes at a time to get out. How did he get in here in the first place? Am I supposed to
didn't you
believe
know
he was
Carl
just
said
like...
that their dad could hold his breath longer than anyone they knew.
But assumedly, Carl's dad, if he got into this cave, could also see fucking land? So why wouldn't he hold his breath to the land?
well, he says like, he says he confused this cave for land. I mean, I guess technically he's right, but like,
It is land, but like...
you would have thought that like, you would have thought he was like, oh, catch my breath. All right, well, this is not where I need to be. I guess I'm gonna go look somewhere else. But he's happy to stay in this cave.
The
There's
cave of Dinosaur Christ.
There's a whole cave of sunstones down here, and turns out the sunstone cave is the meteorite that came and supposedly killed the dinosaurs. And like the dinosaurs did a Noah's Ark thing to Dinotopia, and they didn't die after all. Okay.
No, they did a Super Mario Brothers movie thing.
Oh, gotcha. You mean starring Carlo Rizzi from The Godfather as Scapelli, the Mario Brothers movie?
Exactly.
At one point, it cuts my version of this. I watched a Geico commercial got dropped in, and it was kids playing Marco Polo in a pool, and the actual Marco Polo was in the pool, and they're like Marco Polo, and it shows Marco Polo in full outfit, and he's like standing in the pool, and he's like, "See what do you want?"
And this was the highlight of your evening.
I fucking cackled. I laughed so hard. It's a puffin idea that we would have ran into the ground and overthought. It was really, really funny. The professor leaves the two and the dad behind. And he takes a bunch of sunstones from the cave. But they kept the sunstone that was powering the submarine.
The one that fit the hole of the submarine.
The engine hole for the submarine. And so, like, he's trying to find a sunstone in his big bag of sunstones that fit the hole, but he can't. And then at one point he drops his gun and it fires a bullet through the windshield of the submarine, and he starts taking on water. And then the eel from Jolly Roger Bay in Super Mario 64 comes and eats the submarine. And
the second fish who gets eaten in the Phantom Menace.
Yes. The big Jabu.
There's
Jabu
always
or
a bigger
whatever.
fish.
There's always a bigger
fish. It's the 10th law of Dinotopia. The one that's half eroded.
You ever hear there's more fish in the sea? Well, there's always a bigger fish in the sea.
Always a bigger fish.
That's
why you always look for a larger wife.
Yes. And at one point, the two kids and the dad find that flare that Longhair dropped in the fountain, and they're like, "Oh, that fountain's connected to this cave. Let's go swimming." And the dad's like, "I'm not going to swim." And they're like, "You can hold your breath longer than everyone else. That's how you survived, okay?" Okay. So they swim back. They find Adam's pterodactyl.
Your insistence on never saying their real names is maddening.
They are David and Carl.
I never got their names.
They said it so often.
I never got their names. This movie is like no one emotes in this movie. So it's hard to pick up information.
Zippo emotes.
Zippo
emotes.
And who's the one character whose name I knew? Zippo, and that's because he emotes. And also because he's a fucking dinosaur named Zippo. So like, whatever his name is, they find the pterodactyl. They go back and they find dinosaurs attacking the city.
Call him Prison Break or something.
Prison Break. Prison Break. He flies to the city. He drops his sunstone. Marion picks it up and she runs up a spiral staircase. She drops the sunstone. Zippo picks it up and he puts it in the torch. And that like casts the time block or whatever from Artemis Fowl over the town. So like, and so that like makes it so that the dinosaurs that are attacking stop attacking. Prison Break gets put back in the Air Force. Zippo meets the dad at the end, and in this one shot where he meets the dad and the two sons, the dad and the two sons look green screened in. I guess that was a pickup or something. They are the other Carl is granted legal guardianship over 26 again.
Good. He doesn't have to go to Dinosaur Family Court.
He doesn't have to go to Dinosaur Family Court, which would be an entertaining sequel. We get the credits, and I smile whenever I see that the production designer is a guy named David Byrne, but not Talking Heads David Byrne. The end credits roll. I am so relieved. 4.5 hours. It only felt like 8.5 hours. That was Dinotopia. That was a Spark Notes version of the episode 3.
And somehow, the best thing we've watched for this program so far.
That is all right, boys. We rank it, okay? So this is now our 5th entry on the list, right? Previous entry for me, it was Cats. Then it was Scoob.
No,
Then
Cats,
Sonic.
Cats, Sonic, then Scoob. Because
Those two are pretty interchangeable. They're both like blandly nothing.
Are you talking
Scoob
about
is at least like offensive?
Are you
Scoob
talking
is
about?
At least...
I'm sorry. Were you talking chronologically or in terms of your ranking?
I was ranking them.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was doing it chronologically.
Okay, yeah. So Cats, Scoob, Sonic, Artemis Fowl, and if we are inserting Dinotopia into my personal ranks, it's number 2. It's Cats, Dinotopia, then Scoob. Dinotopia, for all of its faults, for all of its strange misgivings, had character arcs that it set up and saw to fruition. And maybe my standards have been fucking incredibly lowered by this show that we do. But Sonic didn't have that. Scoob didn't have that. Artemis Fowl definitely didn't. So, like, by virtue of a baseline level of competence and coherence, Dinotopia is number 2.
Well, I think what helps is that Dinotopia has about as much lore as Scoob, Sonic, and Artemis Fowl, but it has 4.5 hours to meet it out rather than condense it.
You should have as much lore as your time frame allows. If you have 2 hours of movie, do not try and put 4 hours of lore in it. Do 2 hours of lore, Scoob.
I hear what you guys are saying, but like, at least the other ones looked like a movie, sounded like a movie. 4.5 hours of that Hallmark look is
of
really
TV quality film.
Taking that Vaseline and just smearing it across the lens.
And like,
So I heard you like Bloom.
yeah, like,
hey, do you like soft focus?
yeah, like that Hallmark look, and that Hallmark acting, and that like that stock sound effect and everything, like, and maybe it's because I did it all in one day, but like 4 hours of that is a whole lot to stomach.
Oh yeah.
I think all in one day was the mistake. I think if you had metered it out over a period of perhaps a week or longer, you might be more favorable to it.
Maybe
I can't speak.
Maybe, but also I decided like I wrote "this sucks" in all capital letters during the first episode. So like, I don't know, like, I hear what you're saying. I just like Scoob, Sonic, Cats, and Artemis Fowl are all bad. 3 of those are entertainingly bad to a degree, and I think this is just like bad. I think it's just this, like, kind of, like, down the middle. I think the one thing that, like, sets us apart from the rest of those is that it's 4.5 hours long. It's a monument of bad.
Sure.
And
it's an investment of bad, whereas, like, you could accidentally watch all of Scoob because it is short.
And I could accidentally watch all those other movies that we've watched again. I could accidentally find myself, like, someone puts those on like, I'm at a family reunion, if we can ever go back outside again, and someone, like, turns on FX and one of those 4 movies are showing, I could find myself accidentally watching them again. Not
Maybe
watching them
it's
closely.
Sure. Maybe it's just because I edit these episodes and I just re-listened to a couple of them that, Vern, I think your nostalgia is showing based on how you felt about those other movies after you just watched them.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not here. I won't tell you your feelings. Your feelings are your feelings.
I don't know. I just there was just some bleak moments during Dinotopia.
You went into some pretty dark places.
And I
saw your Instagram story. I saw those nadirs.
And at no point, and granted, it could be because of the other things that we've watched, and this being added onto the pile, but none of the other things that we've watched have made me threaten to quit this show. Granted, I was being a bitch. I was just having a bitchy moment.
You definitely were, but it's understandable, which is why we'll talk about it now. I say we watch good or at least interesting things through the end of 2020. And, you know, I have some stinkers in the back pocket we can revive in the next calendar year, but I think we've earned some good movies through the end of 2020.
I'm good with that. I'm good if you want to do, like, 6 on, 6 off, or 3 on, 3
something
off,
like
or whatever.
That. You know, because we've suffered through some fucking garbage since we decided to start doing this.
And also, I don't want this to become the Bad Movies podcast. And I don't want to
say the world doesn't need another one.
Yeah.
It's movies for babies.
Yeah.
And you know, that might one day incorporate the 1998 version of Lost in Space, and it almost certainly will. But, like, for a while, let's watch The Muppet Movie. Which is our next movie, is The Muppet Movie, coming to you sometime in September.
Legitimately,
we get to watch
legitimately one of my favorite movies ever made.
And there's so much to talk about with the Muppets. Like, I'm very excited that we will be talking about, again, a good
property.
For once. I don't know. We don't often do plugs at the end of this, but if you boys have anything you want to talk about, hit it. But it's almost 9:30. You got 4 minutes to plug.
Right now, I got nothing to plug that I'm not already doing with you guys.
At some point, Justin and I are writing a movie together. Whenever I get time to write the first draft. I got a meme page at Varnio.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, at Varnio on Facebook. But also at Varnio is how you can find me on all the social media. In October, I'll have something to plug that is a different social media. And I don't know. Kevern is a podcast, but it's also a YouTube channel. I don't know. You can watch that if you want. The next Puffin is going to be a lot of fun. Listen to the next Puffin. Whenever that September 1st. But I can't think of anything else. Kevin, you got anything?
Sounds good. No, the Dinotopian way. Rule 12 of Dinotopia says, get out while the getting's good, and I say approximately 2.5 hours into a review of Dinotopia is while the getting is good. I love you boys, but we've been on Skype for 3 hours. I jumped into this right after work. I am ready to not think anymore.
Yes.
So, I told you this could happen.
It was... We were 2 hours under your estimated
guys, my sunstone is all burnt out.
I am extinct.
All of us, From Zippo and all of us here at Dinotopia, yabba dabba doo.
I honestly was surprised we didn't watch the Flintstones movie. That seemed like more on brand for us.
There's always the future.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying, Vern. We have not run out of time, and the John Goodman Flintstones movie is on the horizon.
I was hoping we do the Jane Krasinski Flintstones movie.
Oh.
And of course the week of programming where the Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas took over Hollywood Squares. Of course that week of programming as well.
Oh, please.
Oh, my God.
Yabba dabba doo.
Boom, boom, aka laka laka boom. Boom, boom, aka laka boom, boom. Boom, boom, aka laka laka boom. Boom, boom, aka laka boom, boom. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. It wasn't now that this 40 million years ago, a little cigarette picked up a monkey, start to go. The sun was spitting fire. The sky was blue as ice. I felt a little tired, so I washed my